game. Everyone knows that. Everybody knows the implication of this game, and we got to protect our home court. We feel like we owe it sometimes.
I mean, anytime they get 4 or 5 threes in a row, they're very deadly.
You can play with the best.
Did a good job of driving the kick in and penetrating.
Welcome to another edition of Sports Minute with our sports editors here at the Badger Herald. This is Associate Sports Editor Jordan Schelling, and here we have Sports Content Editor Michael Bleach. Today, a huge game coming up. Wisconsin men's basketball team taking on Duke. One of the biggest games of the season so far for the Badgers in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Mike, going into this game, what do you think some of the keys are for the Badgers going into this one?
The key is actually stopping a team that's remarkably similar to the Badgers in terms of balanced scoring. Duke has 4 players right now, averaging over 10 points a game. Miles Plumet is out with a wrist injury, but they can stretch the floor and they can go inside, kind of like the Badgers. They don't have any one player they rely on to score, and the Badgers are a team that typically helps off on defense. So it could expose some weaknesses if Duke is able to pick them apart. The person who can do that is Jon Scheyer. He's the point guard for Duke, standing at 6'5". He has an assist-turnover ratio of 31 assists, to 3 turnovers. It's phenomenal. Trayvon Hughes has already talked about the challenge of guarding him. It's going to be a great game for the Badgers.
Wisconsin, the team that's won 3 consecutive games against ACC opponents, but they've never won it 4 times in a row. On their own side of the ball, what are the Badgers going to have to do offensively against a Duke team that's maybe not as good as they have been in the past?
They gotta take good shots, and they gotta make those shots when they're open. Duke's very good with their field goal percentage defense. They hold teams to, I think, about 35% shooting from the field. They hold opponents to only 58.2 points per game. Offense is going to be hard to come by for the Badgers, and they really need guys like Trayvon Hughes, Jason Bohan, and John Lure to make their shots and find their shots when they're open.
They really need to shoot like they did against Maryland, another ACC opponent they just beat. They hit 10 out of 22 threes in that game when they've been cold from beyond the arc all season. If the Badgers can hit their open threes, because they're generating a lot of open looks from deep, they're going to be really tough for Duke to beat. Because Duke, normally a ball pressure team, doesn't have as much athleticism and quickness this year, but has a lot of length. So they're kind of packing it in, similar to the way the Badgers defend. So they're going to give you a few open threes. If you can knock those down, you can make the Blue Devils stretch out their defense in a way they're not comfortable with.
Jason Bohan did that last game against Maryland, but when those struggles happen beyond the arc, it seems like there have been some problems so far for the Badgers. Has there been anything outstanding to you guys that's shown why they haven't been able to hit that 3, in certain games, and why they've been able to do it in some others?
Well, Bo Ryan actually talked about that, and he said he would be concerned if shots were planking off the back of the rim or going way short or going side to side or something. But as far as he's concerned, it's a lot of going in and out, a lot of soft shots. They're just not bouncing in. And if Bo's not concerned, I'm not going to be concerned about it. The Badgers have 2 bigs that can score inside, in Keaton and John Lure, and Trayvon Hughes is getting to the rim effectively. I think the Maryland game's a good sign that this team is very capable of shooting from the outside. They just started the season cold. I don't think there's any technical reason why they're not shooting well. I think they'll pick it up.
The Kohl Center, always a difficult place for road teams to play. What do you think this particular advantage would be for the Badgers this coming game?
I really don't think it's an advantage. Last year they lost 3 games at home because they couldn't finish them out. And Duke's not a team that's going to be intimidated by the Kohl Center. They play at home in Cameron Indoor. Everybody knows about it. It's a loud environment. Everybody always gives Duke their best. They're used to teams coming in, or they're used to going to other places. Crowds as loud as they can get. They're used to that. They won at Purdue last year. Purdue was ranked 9th at the time. They went into Purdue and they made them look silly. I really don't think the crowd is going to make much of a difference. It's really just going to be who can play the better game on the court.
Badgers traditionally play extremely well at home under Bo, but it could actually have a negative effect if the players get too jacked, if the crowd gets so into it that Trayvon Hughes is making bad decisions, something we saw Purdue do last year at home against Duke, falling to Duke in the Big Ten ACC Challenge then. It could actually hurt the Badgers. Overall, though, I'd have to say it's going to be wash. You raise a good point. Duke is used to this crowd, but I think the Badgers play under control. I think it may as well just be a neutral court game.
Big game tonight at the Kohl Center. Who do you have winning?
You have to go with Duke. I wish the Badgers to win. It wouldn't shock me if they win. They certainly have the pieces to do so. But right now, Duke is clicking on all cylinders, holding opponents to a low field goal percentage. Jon Scheyer is playing out of his mind. They still have Kyle Singler, who can match up really well with John Lure. Everything just seems to be pointing in Duke's favor. It wouldn't shock me if the Badgers won, but I have to pick Duke.
I've got to agree. Duke is looking like a real good team right now. They're ranked number 6 in the nation for a reason. Anytime you can beat another top 25 opponent when you're shooting under 30% for the game, you're doing something right. They've never lost in the ACC Challenge, ACC Big Ten Challenge, and I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Our expectations higher than others, you know. We know we could hang and bang with the best of them. This place could get loud. Like, you know that song Tonight's Gonna Be a Good Night by Black Eyed Peas. That night's gonna be a good night.
Badgers play Duke tonight at the Kohl Center at 8:15. That'll be on ESPN. Make sure you watch that one, and thanks for tuning in.